startups love people if they are having a hackathon experience. Nowadays, I've been seeing that get like at least one opportunity every 2 weeks from Twitter. Hackathons were a major part of my entire tech journey. So I will just feed that particular idea of mine to ChatGPT and give it the theme that okay, this is my theme and this is my idea. Do you think it matches it or not? And give me feedbacks on it.
Hey man, so first of all, what's your name, your field of study, and where have you interned?
Yeah. So I'm Satyam Singh, and I'm a CS major freshman at University of Vishal in Canada. And I have interned at two companies. First one was Foker, and the second one was Push Protocol.
What's your advice for students looking for internships?
Make as many projects as you can. It should be different, it should be unique, not just any tutorial that you saw on YouTube. If you are watching tutorials, try to add some features by yourself so that it stands you out, since there will be many projects over there like on different applicants where they just build a marketplace, but maybe add some more features in it and make it stand out. So that's one advice, and accept that. Maybe try to post about your projects on Twitter and LinkedIn, because nowadays I've been seeing that get like at least one opportunity every 2 weeks from Twitter. So that's the best place to share your project. So if you are building anything, just share it over there. Even if you are complete newbie in that particular field, just share it. So that's one way of getting internships as well.
Bro, you have taken a very different route to what most of students in India take while they're studying programming and coding. So, what do you think, in your opinion, is required to stand out as a student developer and get high paying jobs?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I still believe that I was a bit lucky because I got to know like a lot of people in tech. So, if you know, sort of like you interviewed him earlier. So, even he was someone who I found out like really early in my development journey. Like, I found him on Discord, like on application Discord server. So, at that time, I used to do a lot of open source development as well. So, I got to know about application, and that's how I met like a lot of experienced developers. Like there was Yuzel and Michael who used to work at an application, so I learned from their experience. And then at the same time, sort of helped me and many other influencers that are out there. So I used to just reach out to them or just work with them in this different Discord servers, and that's how I got this experience in different fields. And even like there are some well-known developers on Twitter. Fortunately, I was able to work with them, and while working with them I learned a lot of different things. Like initially I used to even fake a little bit, like okay, yeah, I know this thing, and I used to just like Google it out, okay, how to build this.
Okay.
So even that was something. You can fake it till you make it, but yeah, try to make it as well. Don't just fake it the entire time. So just like try to figure your way out and learn on the way. So
Right.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And when was this? I mean, after your high school?
Yeah, so I cleared. I was done with my high school during the like last month of 2021.
Okay.
So in 2022, early on, I was just getting into like applying for universities abroad.
Right.
So like the first 3 months went into that, and from March 22nd, yeah, it was March 22nd when I started my tech journey, and that too from a hackathon. So like yeah, so I just had a small experience of HTML CSS that I got from a YouTube tutorial, and I just went for a hackathon. That okay, yeah, let's give this a try. So fortunately, I won the first hackathon, and that gave me a boost to participate in more. So I started participating in hackathons like every other weekend, and every other weekend I used to work with different people from all around the world, because at that time many hackathons were virtual,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
that gave me opportunity to work with them. So they were like really really humble, and used to teach me things that okay, if you even if you don't know this, I'm gonna tell you that okay, write this particular thing and I will explain you too. So I was fortunate enough to meet those kind of people, and I learned a lot from them at that time.
Before we go deeper, did you always have in mind to go outside of India to study?
No,
No.
actually.
Okay.
Till around October 2021, I was preparing for my JEE exams, and actually, I had a pretty good rank over there. Like, I could have gotten a college in Mumbai at least. So, but at that time, my sister just told me, why don't you explore this particular thing? So, I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Like, I had a good rank, so that was my backup in case I don't get into any universities abroad. So I thought, okay, let's give it a try. My parents were not happy at the beginning because
Right.
it's a big risk, right?
Yes.
Like scoring good and then just giving it up for something you just got to know about like a week ago or two. So I just thought, okay, let's give this thing a try, and I started applying during the end of 2021, and in 2022 till February, I had offer letters like from all the universities that I applied to.
Hmm. Now take me back to 2021, 2022, wherein
Yeah.
you just got exposed to open source and hackathons, right? So what made you explore both of these things? And more importantly, as a beginner, how did you go about it?
Definitely, that will be fun. So I actually started from 2022, right? Like my entire tech journey. So fortunately, like one of my friend told me about this channel of Kunal Kushwaha at that time. Like earlier, I was watching a YouTube video and they were just teaching me how to make star patterns. So I was kind of bored of it. So he just told me that just like check it on YouTube. And I saw him. And after that, I got to know about one more person called Shivai Lambda, and that's how I got to know about these different things like MLH and hackathons and open source and all. So for open source, I still remember there was a Discord server which I joined, and I just texted like, I'm complete new, what should I do, like everyone. So someone from that server sent me a link of that website, if you remember, like good first issue. So it is Addy Hub community. So they have this website called Git for Good First Issue website, something like that, where you can just find issues which are beginner friendly. So that's where I found out about application, and I joined that server and I met Saurav. So Saurav helped me out to get started with my open source journey overall. And later on, I started contributing to different projects. Like first was application itself, and after that, like there was Addy Hub, and some more like some small projects were there too. I wasn't able to like get into like those top projects like Kubernetes and all at the time. Yeah, but I thought like this is good. I should like just stick to this for now because I was having fun. Like I was using those things, so I thought okay, it's fun to just contribute to them. But later on, I went ahead with hackathons. Like hackathons were the major part of my entire tech journey. Yeah.
So how do you go about making a contribution? I mean, when you were just starting out, what was the process like? I mean, do you talk to the community people? What's the whole process of making your first contribution, to be precise?
My first contribution wasn't, a technical one. It was more of a documentation. Not even a documentation. I was just making some typo fix in the website. But the second one was a technical contribution. So the major issue that people find when they are making their first contribution is setting up that project locally. So at that time, they did had a pretty good raid me over there on the GitHub. But still, I was a bit confused because there was Docker, and I wasn't aware of it how it works, and I was using a Windows laptop, and like Docker is terrible on Windows. I don't know why. Like maybe my laptop wasn't good, but still. So it took me a while, and I had multiple calls with sort of, and he still helped me out that okay, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. So I had like texted in the community, and then he reached out to me that okay, yeah, this is what you are supposed to do. Follow these instructions. If you are not able to figure it out, then ping me back. So it took me a while to set it up, actually, more than expected. But after that, like, so the main thing, like at that time I had no experience with large code bases. So yeah, so what I thought, like, okay, this particular issue is in this particular page. So what we can do is we can just search for that text which I can see on that particular page, and then we will just figure out the file. Like that's the main thing, right? Okay, which file you have to work on. If you figure that out, then that helps a lot. So first I did that okay, yeah, in this particular file I'm supposed to make the change. I went there and I was just going through the code base, and still wasn't able to understand. I was completely new. So I took some help from the people in the community, and they helped me out. Then I'm fortunate I was able to make my first contribution. And the moment that PR got merged, that's best feeling in the world.
Bro, when you were starting out, this might be a very basic question, but still, how did you get the confidence to reach out in the community in public? Because more often than not, what happens is that students are not confident enough to ask their question, they feel dumb. So, what helped you?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, no one knows me here, right? So what's the worst that can happen? I still have the username called Klaus, so no one knows who Klaus is. I used to be like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? They will laugh on me. They don't even know me, so what's the worst? Just I used to just ask the question. It never happened to me that anyone judged me or like talked rudely with me, but still, no one knows me over there like in person. So just feel free to ask that. Yeah, you think you are famous, but you are not. Just think like that and just ask it. No one's gonna judge you. Just do that.
So, bro, tell me about this hackathon culture. How did you got exposed? How did you win hackathons? And more fun, or more importantly, why is hackathon culture important for students to become a better developer?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I told you
Yeah.
earlier, so like Kunal Kushwaha and Shiva Lambda were the main inspiration behind joining hackathons for me. So I remember seeing a video of Shiva where he was talking about Hack MIT and how he has participated in more than 45 hackathons, I guess. So I was like, bro, this is a lot of hackathons. I should like start now so that I can reach that particular goal. I don't know why that was my main goal at that time, but when I started like joining hackathons, I got to know that okay, this is the application of the code that I was learning earlier. Like initially, I was just watching some videos of how to draw star patterns and all. That is good. Like you get to know about the basics, but if you don't know what the application of that particular thing is, then you are gonna lose the interest in CS overall. So I thought, okay, this is fun. Like I started with front end development. I think most of the people do do that, but it's just it gives you a confidence that okay, I'm making some change and I can see that in real time. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then I started making projects, and though some projects initially were not good at all, they were just static websites which are useless. But gradually I started learning more when I used to participate with people from University of Waterloo. I don't know why, but those people are just amazing. They have they have different mindset. They teach you every single time. I've participated with people from like all the universities, like all the top universities in US and Canada, and they all used to just teach me things like, okay, you are small, like you are younger than us, so just do this particular thing. And that's how even I got introduced with backend. I had no idea how server works, but they told me that okay, this is how REST API works, and you can just do it using these things. So it used to just amaze me. Like before even joining the tech community on Twitter, I was a part of like many different communities over Discord. So there were like a lot of tech communities from the hackathons or the organizations. Like there is a club called U Waterloo Blockchain. So that's a Web3 club in University of Waterloo. So I'm a part of that club. And there is one hacks club, and there are like a lot of different clubs. So there I met many people from different universities, and they even helped me for my application for university for my for my college application. And yeah, so even there were times when I wasn't able to get into university. That's a like long story. Like I had to reapply and all. But even at that time, they helped me a lot. Because of them, I think I got a scholarship over here after I reached. So yeah, so it's like really helpful to participate in hackathons. You meet different people from all over the world. You are not just stuck with a small bubble, and never stay in that bubble. Actually, when you are participating with other people, you are definitely gonna learn more than what you can from your particular bubble that you are in right now. So that's the best thing that someone can do in the initial year at least. Like it's good. Like do DSA, that's pretty good. But still, like development is pretty fun. You get that adrenaline boost in yourself that okay, you are building something every weekend, and you can just build tons of projects. Like right now I have at least 50, I guess 50 working projects. Sometimes I used to be like, okay, I'm just gonna build something during this week, this hackathon, and I used to tweet about it simultaneously on Twitter. So many people love that too, I guess. So I like some tweets got viral, some didn't, but yeah, it's fun to participate in hackathons. Everyone loved that, and every employer loves that. Like initially in April of 2022, I was looking for another internship when I was done with Foker. So at that time, I got into Fountain. So Fountain was a company which was having Twitter Spaces. Like the interviews was on Twitter Space. So I got into that as well, and for Push as well at the same time. So they both loved my hackathon experience. So that's clear that yeah, startups love people if they are having a hackathon experience. So definitely get into it.
What is better, virtual or in-person hackathon?
Okay, that's a good question. So, as per my experience, till now, virtuals are better because, like, I haven't been to any, good in-person hackathons in India. But now that I'm in Canada, I'm hoping to go to some, big hackathons over here. Like, I wasn't able to get into ETH India because at that time I was quite new and I had no experience in Web3. So, yeah, so maybe that's a good one. But yeah, my experience with in-person hackathons is not that good. So I would say virtuals are better. You can just sit over in your room and work.
Now let's talk about a bit more about your hackathon journey. Let's say there is a 20-year-old first year college student who's attending his or her first hackathon, in-person hackathon. So what should they do? How
Yeah.
should they make their team? How should they work on their idea? Because they're in their first year, so their skill sets might not be that good. So how can they approach their first hackathon?
Yeah. Yeah. So first I would recommend to find a team where they have, more experienced hackers. So like they should know that okay, they should at least know how, like basics of like programming maybe. Like that's the worst, yeah. So like they should have some experienced programmers in their team. It's a bit difficult to find someone experienced if you are not, if like it happens in hackathons too. But there are always teams who loves to get beginners in their team. So and try to contribute in design maybe and in documentation, and like there are like many aspects in hackathons. You have to create a demo video. You have to like design the entire thing. You have to document it so that you need a good readme as well, right? So that matters a lot. So maybe try to pitch yourself in that way that okay, I can do these things as well. So in that way they will like maybe take you in. So except that maybe try to attend workshops as well. Like all the hackathons, whether it is in person or virtual, they all host workshops. And it's fine if you're not able to complete your project in your first hackathon. Like it's completely fine, just try to build something, like just give your best. And if you are able to make an MVP, that's good. Even if you are not, try to pitch your idea to the judges, because that's what I did in my first hackathon. Like we were a team of 4 members and two of them left at the like just few type of it, like a Figma prototype, and just created a good demo video, and we were able to win two track prizes over there. And that actually changed my entire journey. Like if I had lost that hackathon, I think I would have stopped participating maybe like for the next one. But just create a demo video. That helps. Even if you don't have an entire product, just share your idea. That matters too. And at the end try to like network with the judges and get feedback from mentors and just both. And just enjoy it too. Like it's not that you just have to work the entire time. Just network with them, just talk to the hackers. So yeah, have fun too at the same time.
And how do you ideate? I mean, you have been given a problem statement, and so how do you ideate?
Yeah. Okay, so actually, that's something that I think everyone lacks a
Hmm.
little bit whenever it comes to that. So maybe like nowadays, what I do is I just get an overall idea. Like let's say I want to build a platform, okay, in Web3 maybe, and there is a theme on uh content creation maybe. That's a theme. Okay, let's talk about that. So I will just think of an idea. Like let's say there is YouTube, okay, and there are different platforms which I cannot take names here, but let's say there are like different platforms where you can maybe share video content or your courses. And there is YouTube, so maybe you can create some sort of mixture of them and create a Web3 platform out of it where there won't be any kind of censorship. So I will just feed that particular idea of mine to ChatGPT and give it the theme that, okay, this is my theme and this is my idea. Do you think it matches it or not? And give me feedbacks on it. And I do this with like multiple ideas that I get, like after just seeing the theme that they provide. And I just try to talk to the ChatGPT that, okay, this is good or this is good. I just talk to it for an hour or two, and after that I get the idea, start working on it. And they do like they do that definitely. They will never say that no, I'm not gonna do that. So even that's something you can do. Yeah, just brainstorm your ideas a little bit and talk to your teammates about it. like just when you have a theme, it's actually pretty good. Like there are many hackathons which just have, you know, open theme or something like that. So at that time you get a bit confused that okay, will this idea be good or this. So it's better to have a theme. So just try to talk to chat gpt or maybe your teammates or your mentors. That's the best way to do that. But yeah, it causes one more issue. So when you google about that particular theme, you get some, you know, generic ideas over there. So there is a huge probability that you will just try to make the same
Mm-hmm.
thing that is
Yep.
over there
Yes.
on google. So yeah, just try to ignore that.
Thank you so much, bro, for joining me here today, sharing your knowledge and experience with my audience. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
Awesome.
me. Yeah.